Well, hello there. Welcome to Website Throwdown. I am one of your hosts, Joshua Harrell, and if we haven't met before, hi, how you doing? And stay tuned because we're going to have some fun today. Website Throwdowns, this is where we go to one of our members' websites. They have said, you know what, I would love some feedback on my website. And we open up their website and we tuck right in and give feedback in the moment because at the end of the day, we want to help our members with their websites, make them more effective, more eye catching, help them build brand awareness, and help them convert unknown visitors to known visitors, aka leads, so they can create sales while they're sleeping. They can generate leads while they're sleeping. So your website should be your number one salesperson, and that's what we're aiming towards. So I am not alone in this journey. I'm joined by one of my teammates who is fantastic and fabulous, and her name is Drea. Drea, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Thank you. Loving the jacket today, Joshua. I already told you, but I thought everybody should know.
Yeah, guys. So I mean, I just grabbed something in my closet and I put this on, and I got to work before everybody else. Everybody joined, came into the office, and I walk out to go get a soda or something, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you are a gift." That was how I was greeted this morning. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling. All right, Drea. So are you ready to do it one more time? Website throwdown. Yeah.
I'm so ready. This is going to be a good one.
Yes, it is going to be a good one. So, guys, we are excited to have our guest for today. She has been a member with World Via Travel Network for a while and is somebody who I honestly just really enjoy her energy, her knowledge, her passion for travel, her passion for business. I have been so fortunate to be around her at our annual conference, our road shows, our monthly calls. She just is I'm going to call her a ray of light, a Texas ray of light is what I'm going to call her. It is Stephanie from Go Wandering Travel. Hey, Stephanie.
Well, hello. How are you?
I am so excited to have you on Website Throwdown. Have you ever done this before?
No, and
Some
I'm
people some
a
people
little
do
nervous.
come back.
They have to, oh gosh. No, haven't done it before, but I'm excited.
Well, it is painless. It is painless. It's going to be fun. And I already know you have a fantastic online presence. So I am really excited to get tucked in with this. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about you. How did you even get into travel? What was what's your journey been?
Well, I was I have two kiddos, and I was a full-time volunteer, is what I like to say. I spent 40 hours up at the school, and we went on a trip with my kids. Um, Back in early 2010s, and I loved it so much, and I kept planning more trips, and my husband said if I was going to plan more trips I needed to get a job, so that paid, not that just gave me joy. So I kind of started that way, and I talked to some people that kind of were in luxury cruise sales, which is not really what I was looking at, but gave me some ideas, and that's kind of how I started. And I just obviously I love it, and I love to travel, and so I love to experience new places and new cultures, and I'm always down. Just tell me where and when, and we'll go.
I'm always down. Just tell me where and when. I love it. I love it. Now, how long have you had your website up and running?
So I think when I first started, before I even joined World Via, I did like a very easy Google Sites, I think is what it was. It was free. My husband's a senior staff software engineer, and he helped me a little bit. He's more on the HTML backside of it, so he could I kind of told, I literally had a piece of paper and I drew it and I was like, this is what I think I want it to look like. There wasn't a whole lot of flexibility with Google Sites, but it worked for me for right now, or for, for a couple of years. And then, so this specific site, I think, has been up for probably 2 years. I try to update it often. I have been much better with my blogs the last year or two, and yeah, so.
That's wonderful. It's always great when you have somebody in your circle of influence, and that could be your magnificent other, who has a little bit of either knowledge in building websites or designing websites, or has a passion for it, because that could so not be you. Like you could say, I want my website to do this, and they're like, oh, you just do this, that, and the other, and you're like, yeah, that's it. So always nice, and definitely for some people, it's very scary to publish anything on the web, even though so many website uh, platforms are very easy to work with. So having somebody in your corner is always helpful. But Stephanie, besides your husband, you've got some people in the chat who are supporters, big time. Rocky joins us, and he said, "Let's go! I'm here for this." Hold on a second. I gotta center my little chat thing here. And then Alan joins us. Steph with an
Oh,
F. So just so you guys know, that's how we refer to Stephanie within our group, Steph with an F. And then Anthony is just a big old Steph.
yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. I'm going to give you guys
Yeah, girl.
just for it, just a little
It's been a
yeah
while
girl.
since I've heard that. I love it.
I found it, and so it's only been here. But maybe we can get Love Travel Live Travel back rebooted, and then it'll be yeah girls all over the place.
That
Um,
is
Hold on.
literally
Sneak
what
peek.
everybody in my house said for like a year. My kids would walk around, yeah, girl, because we were on during pickup, like school pickup, and so my kids just had to listen to it, and so yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
and guys,
God.
that sound effect I got from a sound effect provider, and it just the description was British yeah girl is, and I was like, I gotta hear that one. I gotta hear British yeah girl. That's gonna be a thing. All right. Well, and guys, thanks for joining us live. If those of you who are joining us live, please chat with us. Please ask questions. Please share feedback. Now, keep in mind that Stephanie has volunteered to put her website up for our this gut check that we're doing. So, if you don't like her green, maybe you don't share that, because you know what, that's very subjective, right? But if you do have questions about anything that the three of us are talking about, ask away, because that definitely helps us uncover more. Now, without further ado, I think we should go and visit the website, and if you want to join on this journey, please go to gowanderingtravel.com. That's Stephanie's website, and you can follow along, but I am going to share the screen, and you can still hear everybody talking. Hopefully, oh, while we're doing this, if you are joining us live, come on, give us some emotion. Let us know that you're there. That's always helpful. All right, so Stephanie, you ready for this? We
Yeah, let's
are
do it.
there. All right, so I loaded up the website already, and I didn't X out of this pop-up because I wanted to talk about pop-ups. How long have you had this pop-up here, Stephanie?
Um, Pretty much since I started the site, it just kind of, I walked through when I set it up, and it was just something that was on there to add as far as, yeah, I think since the beginning.
It's wonderful. So let me tell you guys about pop-ups. If you are pop-up adverse, I got to tell you, you need to correct it, because um, I have done over the years. I have worked on websites, whether I built them or I worked with companies that had them. The moment we put a pop up on the site collecting email addresses, we automatically increased how many people signed up for newsletters or downloadables. So if you had an ebook, what to pack when you're going to Peru, or whatever it is, um, that having that pop up, even though back in the day we were like, oh my gosh, these websites have pop ups all over the place, it's so annoying. It does make a difference. So if you have zero people signing up to your newsletter, I I don't want to guarantee it, but I want to say your chances are when you put a pop up, you're going to at least see somebody start to sign up. If you already are seeing people sign up for your newsletter, having a pop up is going to increase that. Now, another thing that helps with that is saying what it is. If you say sign up for my newsletter, that is not exciting. But here, Stephanie is calling it the Wandering Post, so she's branded it. And she's telling you what's inside. You want tips, tricks, and travel deals? Sign up for our monthly. So she's saying how often you can expect to hear from her. You're not going to get a daily email, but at least monthly. And it's called the Wondering Post. So who wouldn't want to sign up for that? So look at ways that you can get people to sign up for your newsletter and make it exciting, make it fun. And at the end of the day, if you are the brand, which many of you are the brand, um, this is a great way to capture the types of stories, the type of passion you have about travel. With a pop up here, you could have a picture. Stephanie could have a photo of her, and Stephanie, you have. I just want to call this out on your socials. I already said this when we first got on the call. You are doing a phenomenal job at creating content, and it some of it is pre-produced content that I can, whether you're capturing testimonials or something, and you're using the photos of your travel, and it screams go wandering travel. I know that was
Good.
intentional, right?
Yes. Yes. Well,
On
and
a
my
mission.
face too. I used to post things all the time that I never posted my picture. And I was watching something, or probably you, and just said, people want to see your face. And so that is outside of my comfort zone too. But
Well, I I I will gladly take the credit for it if it was me because I noticed I'd been following you for a while, and then all of a sudden things changed, and it felt very polished, um, but it also felt very authentic, and so you did it well. So guys, you can get to Stephanie's social channels from gowonderingtravel.com. Please check it out. But I also think it's just great because it all ties in to the overall online experience. So here, like I was saying, I think you could definitely incorporate a picture of you because that is definitely that is it seems to be working for you on social. And it also can make because this pops up right when we visit the website, it kind of makes that immediate identification with your brand that I think could even get you more people to sign up for your newsletter. Now, have you been able to commit to getting out a newsletter on a regular basis?
yeah, I did really good in 2023. 2024, I could not. That's when I ended up hiring an assistant. I could barely keep my head above water. I'm not complaining, but I recommitted at the beginning, well, really the end of last year, and goes out the first Tuesday of every month. So,
That's that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And do you see that people are replying to those emails?
I don't get a ton of replies, but I don't get a ton of unsubscribes. So I think that's a win. I do find for whatever so I start my newsletters with usually my last trip, which I'm fortunate enough to have had something usually the month before, even if it's just a little weekend trip, just to kind of bring people in and bring out just my personal side. And so this past one, obviously, I just went to Switzerland, which got a lot of people interested and old clients that are were very happy with past Switzerland trips that just brought back good memories. So even if it's
Nice.
not a win as far as a sale, it's still keeping in touch and yeah.
And you never know when that email hits somebody's inbox when they're going to be ready to talk to you. So it might not be a reply, it might be a text message, it might be a DM, it might be something, or it might be that they're penciling you in on their calendar to reach out to you at a later date. But nothing happens if you don't get it out there. So super proud of you. I know that takes a lot of discipline to make sure that that's pumping out. But we're gonna move on past the newsletter here and dive into your website a little bit more. So I'm gonna just X out of that. And wow, beautiful. I'm gonna accept the cookies, and I love I love the colors. You're definitely on brand, aren't you? That's fantastic. Now, are some of these images you took, or are they stock photography?
I think for my website, because it was taken or set up a couple of years ago, I think most of them are probably stock. That's not the case with my social recently, at least.
Yeah. And so this is coming from your Instagram feed right now, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love that the little plugins to bring in content from your social exist because it's a great way to refresh the site without you having to think about it and update images. Easy way to keep it fresh. And as we know, Google wants to know that your website is getting updated, so it needs to know something is happening there. Um, so that is very, very cool. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to scroll for everybody as I'm scrolling, and Andrea, you let me know if you need me to stop or if there's something that you want to hit on. Um,
I think
Go ahead.
honestly the Instagram like plugin as well, it just helps so much with diversity of the pictures on the website. Like it's never you're not always looking at the same thing. Like if they're always rotating and you're always like updating your site, that is just so helpful to the eye. I mean, and the fact that it's going back and forth between your Instagram and your website, that's just a good line right there.
Yeah. So, Stephanie, Rocky is asking, is this a, I don't know what WV is, Rocky. I don't like these acronyms. Is this a World Via Sites page or a different host?
I use GoDaddy,
Okay.
so no.
Uh, let's see. And then Wendy is chiming in. She said, I like the different phone consultation options. Let's see here. I'm going to go back here. Um, let's see. We've got schedule. Oh, I love this. You've got scheduling. Oops. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Sorry, this is what she was talking about. So we've got your scheduling your appointments. You've got introductory consultation. Beautiful. Um, and you're using TidyCal. I haven't used that one before. Um, how'd you hear about that one?
Um, it was in a group that I was in, and they had a lifelong. It was like $50 for forever, and so
Forever?
I like looked, yeah. So I don't pay monthly. It's just I paid, and it's forever mine. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And it
Awesome.
links with my personal calendar. So if I have an appointment or if I'm out of town, I don't have to go double up. It just automatically pulls in from my work calendar, but also my personal Google calendar. So
I I'm gonna echo what Wendy is saying. In looking at this, I I want probably for this section, I want a little bit of an explanation of the different things that I can do, these different consultations, because they have, like, the one is an introductory consultation, the other one is final documents overview, but I wonder what a Wonderlist huddle is. So just something to tell me what to expect in these particular things, because even if I'm here and I'm looking at these options, and I really think, since we haven't talked before, I'm an introductory consultation, the other two options tell me a little bit about your service.
mhm.
So what is a huddle? Is that an impromptu, or just a quick gathering that I can schedule, even at 11 o'clock at night when I'm thinking, oh, I need to talk to Steph. Let me click on this and then I can schedule it and I don't have to think about it anymore. And then, oh, there's a final documents overview. I didn't even know that was something I would need to do. But wow, that is an added touch that would make me feel more confident. So just something just something that kind of breaks down what these are. But I love them. I think this is super awesome. Now, how many people visit your website today? Do you know?
Joshua, I have no idea how to even know that.
That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes different web platforms have an analytics dashboard where you can, right when you log into the back end, you can see, or if you plug up Google Analytics, you can look at it. Now, is it something you should be looking at all the time? No. I don't know any agency owner that needs to be looking at their analytics all the time. However, whenever you are looking at making changes to your website, um, I think it is very helpful to say how many people are visiting my website and how many inquiries are coming from my website. And in your case, you've got an online form. Is that right? Let me make sure there was an online form. Where was I just
Yeah,
at?
it's on the main page, but then it's also at the top, plan my travels.
Gotcha.
It's on the main
Right.
page too.
Yeah, so we've got an inquiry form here, and then we've also got your appointments. So you can kind of
Mhm.
tally up all of those to say, okay, this is how many people have converted on my website. It's just helpful information to have as you're planning any kind of changes, because sometimes we are so hard on ourselves with our website. We're like, ah, it is awful. I feel like if I used purple on my website, it would work so much better, right? So like she just turned her nose up at that. That was
It's my favorite color, but yeah, just it doesn't go with my brand.
no, 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 it doesn't. But those are some of the things that we all become kind of a victim of. Like, oh, if I have a black background instead of a white background, that's going to be better. But oftentimes that's just us trying to figure out what we could do to make something happen. Like I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna change the background. I'm gonna, add a different color. But at the end of the day, is it really a website problem? Or is it a getting people to your website problem? So
Mm.
getting people to your website is it could be advertising, it could be social posts that are pointing people to your website. It could be the content on your website. And I have to say this about your website, just in the flying visit that we're doing here, I was looking at even on your homepage, you have you've got it broken down. You've got sections that have an image, have a call to action, but you also have a lot of content on the page, which has to help with Google indexing your site and increasing your discoverability. So that I think is that's another reason why some people are not getting traffic to their website is they've gone so basic with the content on the site. It's all good. You can have a one-page website, but you still have to have content. You have to have words for either Google to read or the AI bots that are combing through the web. So I love that you have content here. So kudos to you. And then you also have you've got your blog,
Mhm.
which look at this, guys. I see a blog that was published on the 12th. I see a blog on the 2nd, May 12th. Look,
I don't think I can hear you, Joshua. Is it me?
No, I think we lost him.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't me.
It's okay. Just 1 second. Honestly, I'll pick up while he's just trying to get that back. I will say on the analytics as well, I feel like I just wanted to add really quickly to that. It really is a clarification for like a lot of confusion because sometimes if you are wondering like, hey, this spiked, maybe like the number of leads that came up, like how did this happen? I feel like having the data to back it up and see like, oh, maybe it came from here, everything. And the fact that you have control over your own website, that's just a really cool thing that you get to change, make changes, but like always, you can always look at it and make sure that like, oh, that change worked, that change didn't work as well. So I think that's a really important side on the Google Analytics part of things. Are we back? Oh, no.
Can you guys hear
Still,
me?
Yeah, we can hear
yes,
you.
You can hear
we
me.
can hear you.
Wow. Let's see. Can you hear me now? You can't see me.
Not
We
yet.
can hear you.
No, you're just
You can hear
speaking
me.
void.
Wow. This is great when this happens live. Stand by,
That's just what a
guys.
live is, though. Sometimes you just have those some little technical difficulties.
Mm, All right. All right. We're still not seeing me. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. This is when we go rogue here. Hold on, guys. Stand by.
Oh,
Mm.
we're doing a whole thing.
Yeah, we are doing the whole thing.
Oh,
Wow. You guys can hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay.
yep.
Fantastic. This is wonderful. Um, this is so live. Um, and yeah. All right. Hmm. Okay. But you guys can hear me. That's all that matters. You can hear me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and I heard you talking, so I hope everybody else heard you guys talking because there was some dialogue there. I just love the fact that while I was talking, Stephanie, and nobody could hear me, I was calling your blog sexy. And
Ooh.
so I'm
I mean,
like,
that was the.
so I called your blog sexy, and then you didn't respond. And I was like, wow, I have offended you. Wow, that is terrible. So anyway, yes, it's very sexy. I love the photos that you have. I love the titles. I love the summaries. And I love the fact that you're updating it on a regular basis. That is a major, major win there. So kudos to you for that. Um,
Thank you.
uh, Now, do you also share your blog in your email newsletter, or is the blog something you share on social, and that's how it's communicated out?
So usually I will include part of it in my newsletter of one of the blogs because that way I don't have to rewrite an entire section of my newsletter. So whether, depending on what it is, whether it goes under the new and travel or any kind of destination spotlight, I do some destination spotlights. So depending on where it fits in that category would be um, yeah. So I had heard somewhere, I don't know where, but to not do things, to not do every little thing, and use what you've already written for multiple things. And so that's what I've been doing. So
Oh, look at Christine.
yeah, I told her she made my blog this year or this month, and she thought she was in trouble, but she wasn't.
you you made my blog. That is fantastic. I love, I think it's great for people to build blogs and have that content on their site, and one image is just fine, but I love the fact that you've incorporated multiple images. It makes a better user experience, and it also means that if I am somebody who doesn't read a blog, I can consume the article just by scrolling through and saying, oh, there's packing. Oh, she only takes 3 suitcases. Like, these are the things that are running through somebody's mind. Still very, very entertaining. And another note, yes, there was one picture with your face, but you've taken some photos without your face, and that is absolutely acceptable. Whatever it takes to tell the story. Um, I love that. I love that. Um, let me pop through on your service. Oh, you know what? We did have a question before all that kerfuffle happened. Somebody was asking on your Plan Your Travels page, what are you using for the embedded form?
So that is my CRM Travel Joy,
Okay.
and I have that's just one of the forms that I have, and you can use the HTML to embed it here.
And so the form goes into your CRM. It says, hey, you've got a lead. It's created contact information based on what they've inputted in, correct?
Yeah, it just creates an entire new trip for them, and it notifies me through email. And then I start my email workflow with them about scheduling a call and then going from there. But that way, I've got, you know, they're automatically in my system with their name and email and phone number, as well as all the information about this specific trip.
Perfect. Perfect. How many people fill out the inquiry versus scheduling a call? Like, is it half and
Well,
half?
I would say most people do the inquiry first. On my call, when you schedule a call, it says, have you filled out the inquiry form? If you haven't, please fill it out first. I don't like to go into calls blind. Um, if I start a call and it's somebody that's wanting to go to, I don't even know, someplace that I wouldn't book, at least I can know ahead of time and have some ideas on who I may refer them to. I'll get just some general information, or I'll just say, I don't want to waste either one of our times, but I do have some people that book XYZ that I would trust you with. So, but yeah, I don't, I would say 95% of the time I would need them to fill out the inquiry form, just so I can prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also elevates the conversation too when somebody knows, like, there are details I need. It's not just let me dazzle you with talking about travel
Right.
because that it also helps you know where's this person in the decision making process. Are they just getting started trying to figure things out, or do they have a lot of these details wrapped up? Now, in terms of your type of client,
Mm-hmm.
um, are you are you someone that people gravitate towards because maybe they're a little more disorganized and they need somebody with a calming presence who's very organized? Or is there a common thread that you find with your clients that just when they meet you, they know this is the right person?
Well, I will say the majority of my clients are by referral, and so I think that is the highest form of compliment that I can get. And so I'm hoping that the clients that I have that are referring me feel that way, that I'm organized. I I try to give everybody all the information. So I've got a digital itinerary that they take with them, and I do ask if they prefer to also have a hard copy, which I do a lot of retirees, and so I, without even them asking, I know like my mother-in-law loves to have those papers in hand just in case. And so I do think that the majority of the people that I get, either they're very busy in their normal life, whether it's with kids or whether it's a doctor owning a practice, things like that, and they just don't have the time. And there are definitely clients that say, this is what I want to do, send me a credit card authorization, essentially, and like, um, have no idea what they're doing until essentially they depart. So I think that's putting a lot of trust in me. That's not a lot of them, but there are definitely some. So those are actually more nerve wracking because I do like to get feedback on things, but I feel like I do the same. I enjoy doing the same things over and over, especially for people that have never traveled to Europe specifically. I enjoy the feedback of a first timer's visit and excitement in all these places, because we were all first timers in these destinations, and so I enjoy that part too.
Well, the reason I asked that in particular was because the way you have laid out your website, I can't really, I can't find flaw in your content. That you've got a lot of detail, and it is not too much detail, if that makes sense. Like it's deep. I can see the content. I can find the thing that I want to find. And I think that's really helpful because I would normally recommend, have, no more than 5 pages in the navigation. That's it. That's the standard rule. But
Mhm.
when I'm looking at the content on your pages and the way you've laid it out, it feels very organized. So I feel like if I was somebody who is really searching for an advisor because I'm going to Europe for the first time and I need to make sure I make the most out of it. I need to, know the things that I don't know. Your website is signaling a lot of trust and organization. And I'm sure that that's how you mapped it out to be. I'm just saying it's sending those vibes in a big way. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Because that's I mean part of your success here. Now Jamie is asking when you were talking about the inquiry form, she said or he said when you say that you don't book XYZ, how do you handle that? And that's a common question. It's not really a website question, but I know it's a common question. So how do you handle that when somebody reaches out and they're like, I want to do this thing? How do you deal with it?
Um, if it's honestly, I'm to the point, blessed to be to the point in my journey with my company that I don't have to do everything that comes to me. I didn't feel that way in the beginning. But so if something shows up that, I don't do a lot of domestic travel. So if somebody wants a road trip, I'm not going to enjoy that. It's going to take, a ton of time for me. And it's just not something that I enjoy. I don't enjoy doing it. And like actually doing the road trip. I would much rather fly somewhere. And I don't put it together. So if they're asking that and they've already filled out my inquiry form, depending on where it is, I will reach out and just let them know, hey, I'm not the greatest person for this trip, but I've already probably reached out to one of my agent friends who I feel like would be a good fit for this and kind of passed it on that way. Um, Alternatively, if it's somewhere that is, well, for the longest time, Australia, New Zealand, I wouldn't book because I had never been there. I didn't understand it, didn't really have the time to put any kind of training into it. And so again, I would refer those, but I decided I wanted to be able to sell Australia and New Zealand. And so I became an Aussie specialist. I did the training. I went to Australia. And so sometimes it's just like, oh, maybe I do want to sell these things. So I really wish somebody would request an African safari from me because that's where I would love to go. So I'll put some research, a lot of research into that. So we'll see.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Can I just
Um,
say as well,
yeah.
like having that space of for someone to come to you and like maybe yeah, you're not the one that's gonna take care of them, but you're problem solving already for them by giving them like an alternative option just really goes to show like what kind of advisor you are. So I think, if anything, they could always, come back and be like, well, you did fix that for me, even though you didn't do it. So I think it really speaks on like credibility and like building that trust with your clients as well.
Yeah, and I don't feel I don't feel it's me losing a client. We really are a family. I know we talk a lot about being a family, but we really are. And if it's not me losing a client, but it is one of my colleagues gaining a client. And yeah, if they come back to me, if this is a Thailand trip and they come back to me for Europe next
Mhm.
year, that's great. But if they love the advisor that I sent them to, well, I sent them to that advisor for a reason. I'm not just gonna send them to someone random. So
Yeah.
Well, and I've witnessed you working with other advisors within the network to say, this is who I've used, different partners that you've used for a country or whatever, um, and that collaboration just in helping each other navigate, new experiences and expanding their portfolio, and thus, I mean, it works back and forth, throwing things out and getting feedback. And I love that in some of these cases you can share, and at the end of the day, it shows I'm really having some technical issues. I'm just knocking my computer all over the place. It just really goes to show that that you're very connected, and I think that that's something that I've witnessed with so many different advisors who have reached a level of success. Is it's not about having traveled to all the destinations. It's about being connected and having uh, that level of quality, whatever your level of quality is, that's what the customer is looking for. So I love that for you.
Well, and
Before I
that's one
want,
of the things actually that I tell my clients, that, and it is very true. Unless someone's asking for a specific hotel, I let them know I never recommend a hotel that I wouldn't stay at, or that I haven't stayed at, or I wouldn't stay at, or take my family to. It's just very important to me that they feel comfortable, and I'm kind of bougie when it comes to hotels, so yeah, I do tell them that. So that, and I think that that builds the trust too.
absolutely. I've been to restaurants before that I've never been to, and I always ask, like, I like a variety of food, but if I like the server and I feel that there's a rapport, then I'm
Mhm.
like, what would you get? I want to know what you
Yeah.
would get, right? And I hate when someone's like, I don't know, it just depends on you. I want, yeah, I might not get the thing that they suggest, but I want that more directive approach. It
Yeah.
it makes me feel like that's a part of the experience. Now, while you were talking, I went over to your testimonials page, and I wanted to call out something that I think you are doing really well. So you've got titles on your testimonials beyond just Lisa in Georgetown, Texas, right? You
Mhm.
said 10 days in London. And I think that helps for SEO and also instant recognition that Stephanie sells London. She sells
Yeah.
Germany, Poland, Austria. And a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I want pictures of my customers, but they won't give me pictures. Okay, don't worry about it. Get pictures of the places that you're talking about. And so this page is not only a testimonial, it's signaling what you sell. And if I don't even read the testimonials, I am getting the message that you've had experience in all these different destinations. I think that that is phenomenal. Stephanie, I've got to say, I have done this for. We started this back in 2019, doing website throwdowns. Took a little time off. I don't have real feedback on your website. You're crushing it. You've got a strong website. Is there something that you are particularly concerned with or wanting more of from your website that we could look at?
Um, I've always, people talk about lead magnets. I think I've always wondered if it even matters. Just like generic itineraries. If
Mm.
someone were to click on, like, if you go to my page where it talks about what we book, it may be like the second tab. Um, I've Is that it?
The services?
Yeah. So I've wanted to do something with this page. Maybe if they click on European vacations, something pops up and they can click. I would love to hear more about your idea on, Ireland, if for 10 days or something like that. I don't know how to include that. Or honestly, maybe somebody in the chat can say, is that giving away too much? I don't want them to take that obviously and go book their own with the itinerary I'm providing them. But um, I think that would be next on my list. And then I did read that every time you update your website, you get more views and it brings you more to the top. But so I kind of go into the resources and update that every now and then. I took off like the COVID things a couple of months ago, and so. But
So you're right about updating your website. Anytime you expand content that Google can read, um, that is now Google knows. Uh oh, the page has been updated. or the site's been updated, I need to go and scroll it, or I need to scrape it for information. So any kind of change, and that's where your blog really comes in. The fact that you're updating it on a regular basis, you're updating the site, and that is signaling, okay, this website's alive. It's not just something that was built 2 years ago and then forgotten about. So that's really good. And again, you're expanding the content. It's not just pages with pictures on it. You've got
Mhm.
pictures and you've got content. That really helps. Um, uh, 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 Conversion points on the site beyond your email newsletter and beyond kind of the bottom of the funnel, which is let me fill out an inquiry, having downloadables of all sorts, whether it's what to think about before beginning to plan your trip, like something that is guiding them through the figuring out what their wish list is for a trip, things like that. Any tools like that is something that you can use in social media as something for somebody to do. Also, even having it embedded in these pages, like here's a banner of promoting this downloadable, this packing list. All of that is good because you just want people to be able to interact with your site, interact with you, even if they're not ready to buy in that moment. And that's really
Mhm.
where it comes in handy. Now, your itineraries, I'm going to tell you, um, I would not be stingy with it. I wouldn't come from a place of scarcity where you're worried that somebody's going to take it and do something with it. I don't think you should get into all the details, right? Like I would book this hotel, I would, and these different excursions or experiences. I would give like a nice little
Yeah.
tasting, and it does show some of the details that go into planning a trip that not everybody thinks about. So you could either make that a downloadable, um, or what I would suggest for you is turn those into different blog articles. Like here's my dream itinerary in Dublin, and then link it from exactly where you were talking about the European vacations, luxury travels, wherever you want. And you could just mix those up. You could create new ones and just you're continuing to add to the content on your website. But then
Mhm.
you're also creating these activities or actions that people can take to consume your content. So I think that would be really helpful. But you're really doing some really good things to your website. I'd be curious to know some of the numbers behind it. How many people are finding your website? How many people are coming from social? How many people are coming through organic search? Because you are doing all the right things by having all this content on your site. Is it working, or is there a gap that could easily be filled? But I think you're doing some really, really good things. So we're at time.
Okay.
And so I hate to let you go because you've got a lot of good things, and I know people are poking around your website right now. So if we did look at Google Analytics, man, on the 17th of June, there was a lot of activity on your site. What I would love to do, if you're down for it, Stephanie, I would love to maybe explore setting up Google Analytics so we could dig into some of those numbers, the behind the scenes, and just kind of because there's a lot of people have that question: how do I do that, and what information? Because Google Analytics can give you so much stuff. So what to do with that information. So if you'd be down for it, I'll message you later. You don't have to tell me now. She might be like, no, I don't want to do this.
Honestly, it may be already set up. I just don't know what it is or what it looks like. So,
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely would love to do it. And thanks for volunteering to do this, and
yeah.
thanks for bearing with me as I my sound goes dead. But at least I did get to come back and say I called your blog sexy.
I like
So
Yeah.
it.
That was a really important piece. We couldn't have missed that.
I know
It
we
had to
couldn't.
be said.
We couldn't. Well, Drea, thank you as always for joining, and Steph, just thank you and good job. And just so you know, you got a fan club here. There's a lot of people watching us live, cheering you on, and they think like I do that you rock. So
Oh,
Yeah.
we will circle back later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, bye
Bye.
guys. Thank you for joining us live.
Bye.